Welcome to all European partners from Vienna, which of course, and all know it, is one of the most important Central European capitals in European history. We have chosen to put the finger for some moments on the article Europe as a cultural reference and value system. Because this is a special aspect of European history, that Europe is not simply a geographic identity or in a material sense a geographic entity, but it's also a system of cultural and value elements which is not very closely tied to a geographic area. I have chosen the Grand Hotel Europa in Prague. This is a typical hotel as we find it in the end of the 19th century, early 20th century in all capitals and great cities in Europe, and this is a very good illustration what transfer, migration, mobility in Europe means about 1900, and that it's not an addition of national histories, but that there is a space fulfilled with people and ideas. So far from Vienna, a very nice snowy Vienna today.
Our next guest, which in this case is the Catholic University of Leuven. We are grateful that you are there, Professor Jan de Meer, who's an expert on Catholicism, politics and society. The article you're going to present to us concerns the Spanish century. It deals with the perception of the so-called golden age of Spanish culture in the 16th century.
Yes, first of all, you have the article on the Spanish century. You can scroll behind the article, but also you can click on the more specialized articles as the Legenda Negra. I hope it's working. Yeah. There you have the article, and this is very interesting because it's going on very quickly. And then I demonstrate the authority records as here the biography of Julian Loyot. And there you have the entrance for this authority records in the several languages. I can choose certainly German. And there you have all the information you need. You are linked with the Catalog der Deutschen Nationalbibliothek. So this is a very fine system.
Thank you very much, Professor Jan de Meer, for demonstrating us how easily ego can be handled. We are moving about 300 kilometers south to Paris. This is Dr. Johannes Graves, the deputy head of the German Forum for Art History. Hello, Dr. Graves.
Hello and bonjour, mesdames et messieurs, chers collègues. Perhaps we try to switch on the website of EGO. Palladianism, an architectural style and movement which is presented on the EGO website by an article of Carsten Ruhl, serves as an elucidating example for this genuine transnational and transcultural nature of art. Originating from the ambition of Italian architects and theorists to reinvent the architecture of antiquity, this style, founded by Andrea Palladio, strongly influenced the European architecture of early modern times. From the Veneto via England to Dessau-Wörlitz, palaces and other buildings were designed in a style which was codified in Palladio's treatise, but nevertheless underwent decisive transformations. And I think the article of Carsten Ruhl points out this transformation in a very elucidating manner.
Thank you so much. That was Dr. Johannes Graves, the deputy head of the German Forum of Art Histories in Paris. And I hope that we can move on now to Estonia, to the University of Tartu, to Professor Rihur Altnurme of the Faculty of Theology at the University of Tartu. Very welcome.
Hello, everybody in Europe. I have printed in the word Tartu in advanced search. And you will see what happens. We are going into the topic Russification, Sovietization, and then we will find the article And on the right side of the article, we will find different materials, including video clips. And there, one of the latest is United States newsreel about Hungarian revolt, 1956, and I try to demonstrate it now.
Scenes on the Austro-Hungarian border measure the scope of Hungary's anti-Red revolt. West Hungary is rebel control of Hungary's rebels, a grim reminder of the cost of the most telling blow ever struck at Russia's satellite empire.
That was very impressive. Thank you very much, Professor Riho Altonen, and all. Thanks to all your colleagues who've joined us today from the University of Tartu, so that now Budapest can join us, the Department of History at the Central European University.
So let's suppose that I'm an 18th century specialist looking for something interesting to work with in the field of intellectual and cultural history, and I immediately realized that among the new contributions, there's an article about Anglophilia, that is the admiration, veneration, emulation of English models of governance, culture, technology, science, and so forth. And I assume, since this was a very trendy topic in the 18th century, that this has to do something with my interest. Of course, I could reach the article through doing a search in time, as well as topic or area. But for the time being, it's easier for me to click just on Anglophilia and see what happens. I can immediately see that Anglophilia belongs to the thread models and stereotypes, and Ego is helpful enough to me to show me also the environment in which Anglophilia can be located on the Ego map. We can obtain more specific information about alternative names, about publications, also publication statistics about where and when they were published. But then, as also has been pointed out, we are directly led to the catalogue of the German National Library, but also other resources like the German Dictionary of National Biography, where we can find an extensive article about Forster Junior and Senior as well.
Really impressive. Thank you very much, Professor Kontler of the Central European University in Budapest. I'm now calling Switzerland.
Yes, I would like to, or we would like to present you another example, an audible export product, so to say, which stems from the Genevan Reformation. When you look at the homepage of EGO and you write the Reformation Schweiz, you come to an article about the Genevan Psalter. We do not read it now, but we will have another aspect of this Genevan Psalter. When we go down this homepage, it is possible to listen to an example of this Genevan Psalter. This is what we are going to do now. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Professor Peter Opitz. Our thanks go to the University of Zurich, so that we can now move on to Prague, which is our next station. Prague, the Collegium Europaeum, and to Dr. Peter Hlaváček.
So, I'm greeting all of the project partners and all participants from snowy Prague. Prague has the very old Jewish community, the oldest in Europe. So these Jewish networks are the far-reaching trans-territorial and trans-cultural channels of communication between Jews and Jewries. So the large advantage presents and offers the view of digitized sources, that is, without having to visit an archive. For example, digitized newspapers or journals as the Orient, moment please. It's a journal for Jewish history and literature from Leipzig in Saxony. So from the middle of 19th century. So I believe the Go project is at the beginning, but this project has surely a great future, I hope. So I give the word to Mainz again for the next presentation, Mr. Metzner.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hlavatek from Prague. The original plan now was to go to Poland, to Wrocław, but we've had some problems connecting Wrocław to us. I want to greet Professor Ireneus Karolewski and Professor Wilfried Spohn from the Willy Brandt Center of German European Studies, and I'm very sad that we can't see your presentation now. We will go on now to our final station, which is the German Historical Institute at London.
Good afternoon, and a very warm welcome from the German Historical Institute in London, from Professor Gestrich, a group of London students who are with me, and myself. Now, a positive achievement of EGO, in my view, could be and probably will be if the history of expansionism and global history are closely connected with the understanding of European history, yet beyond Eurocentrism, and with a clear notion of what it meant for an interactive, multipolar dynamic between nation and expansion, between Europe and, since the 19th century, an increasingly globalized world.
Thank you very much, Professor Benedikt Stuchtai of the German Historical Institute in London. Yes, and that was basically it. Those were 8 different ways to use and to work with EGO in Vienna, in Leuven, Paris, Tartu, Budapest, Zurich, Prague, Wrocław, and London. Thank you all and ever so much for your participation. Have a nice day, and I hope to meet you again on EGO. Goodbye.